complicated as I thought it was going to be. I definitely spent most of the build really worrying about how it was going to turn out, how I was going to do it. Wasn't quite sure how all of it was going to get put together. So I'm glad that it turned out the way that it did. Basically, what I decided is I didn't want to try solar panels first just because I wasn't sure how much energy I was going to be pulling. So I decided to start by drawing power to my secondary battery from my starter battery in the very front of my car under the hood. So we'll go over to the hood. And first you'll start by, I disconnected my battery from my car. So I took these off and I disconnected them. Basically what I did is I ran an 8-gauge power wire from the starter battery in the front, and I ran it under the car, up through a little hole behind my passenger seat, coated in red. I asked for a red one specifically and a black one. So the red one you just hook up to obviously the positive side, right, with the other red cable. This is already grounded, so we didn't need to ground this battery, so this was just fine. So this red cable connects here, and then I threaded it down into, I don't know if you can see in there, but down there. And then I went under the car, down here. And let's see if I can see where this is. If you look, the cable comes down through here. I use cable ties to secure it so that it doesn't run into any moving parts. Because otherwise it could get spliced. And I ran it over, all the way down there, way down, which I'm not going to show you because it just basically just keeps going. And I have it cable tied up. And then, so it goes from the far side of the hood of my truck, down underneath, over around the bottom, behind this wheel, all the way. Here's my front driver's side door, and it goes all the way to behind my driver's seat over here. So if you look up here, you can see that it just runs up into my truck. So we just took a metal drill bit and just drilled a hole that was about the size, just slightly bigger than the wire. And we used like a little rubber ring piece to go around the cable so that it doesn't get rubbed too much and sliced by the metal of my truck. And then this is gonna be hard to show you. So everything basically, here's my driver's seat. This is my curtain. Everything ends up back here, which I'm gonna go around the side of the truck to show you. That power wire goes up and connects to this smart solenoid, which basically just disrupts the power from being pulled from my starter battery. So if I was to drain all of the energy from this battery back here, I will run out of energy. I won't be pulling anything from the starter battery, because if I did that and drained that battery, I'd be stuck in the morning or stuck wherever I am because I wouldn't be able to get my car going. So I thought the smart solenoid was kind of important when I was doing this build, so I would recommend that. Basically, it's here, and then that red wire is from the engine, and then this red wire goes and connects to the battery down here, and that just goes straight to the positive terminal. All of these things have grounding wires, so this one is connected here. It came pre-existing on the device, and it just got screwed right into the wall of my van, because your whole vehicle should be grounded, so you should be able to just screw them all into the whatever's metal in your van. Let's see. And then from there, you will have another like black 8-gauge power wire that you will connect from your battery from the negative terminal to, again, just the side of your car. It should be grounded. You can probably find a device that can check if your car is grounded. Just ask at your local hardware store, or if a friend has one, or maybe you have one because you're cool. I didn't, but friends. Anyway, after that, your battery should be charging from your starter battery. That part's all good. Basically, all you have left then is to connect the inverter to your battery, which is really simple. All you have to do is connect, again, the red wire and the black wire from the positive and negative terminals on either device, and that's it. Then you're done. So I actually filmed this video about 2 weeks ago when I was still at my mom's house. I hadn't left yet, and now I'm in Canada, and I'm finally editing this video. And I'm realizing that I forgot to mention one of my biggest problems with actually getting the battery put together, and that is the fact that I had all the, it's raining. I had all the materials. I had the wires, I had the battery, I had the lugs, I had everything that I needed, and I knew how it was all going to get put together. But the only thing I didn't have was the tools to connect the wires to the lugs. So basically what I needed was a soldering gun and heat shrink. And so I either needed to find somebody who had them already or buy the tools myself, which would have sucked because I literally only needed it for like this project and probably won't ever need it for anything else. So my friend's dad came through with the tools. Thank you, Mr. Don. He basically, so what needed to happen is the wires needed to get connected to the lugs. The lugs are basically just a little metal piece at the end of the wire that connects to the battery terminals so that there's a secure connection. You can't just like wrap the wires around the terminals. So what he did is he soldered the wires and the lugs together, and then he took heat shrink, which is just like a little plastic tube that goes around both the wire and the lug, and he takes a heat gun which just blasts it with heat, and the heat shrink just shrinks around both of them so that there's no exposed wire, no chance that it's gonna get jostled out and pulled apart. And yeah, so that's all that needed to happen. So it was really frustrating not having the tools, but so helpful knowing someone who had them. So that was my biggest problem. Just wanted to make sure you guys knew that part, because I didn't know about this before putting the battery together, so I thought it'd be helpful. Yeah, and if you check out my website, it's hannahleeduggan.com. I also have a blog posted titled Van Build or something, and I go through all the steps in that post about exactly how I did the battery, all of that. I have the materials I used listed and linked, so if you want to check that out, could be helpful. It's nice to have like a written guide, I think. So anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble about things I sort of know about. Try to burn the world up, and I don't care about your regrets. You can keep those secrets to death. I don't need to know what you speak underneath each breath, but we learning how to read what's in between the text.